Well, let's jump right in with our first team of the day. The Houston Cougars. Standing by with us on Zoom is head coach David Rehr. And David, thank you for joining us here today. Coach, we are super excited for another season at the helm. Your rapidly evolving program, mix of veterans, talented newcomers, and a recent international trip to the Dominican Republic. Cougars are coming in with something special for 2025. Coach, happy to have you here. Tell us about that tour and how the highlights kind of played out, the experiences you had when you went on the international tour.
You know, the main focus for me for the international tour is that the 10 days of practice you get before you leave, and then the chance to compete and see how that goes before we can start and kind of get a jump ahead. I thought it went well. I thought the team bonded pretty well, and I think we got further along as a volleyball team. So it was a well worth trip for us.
Coach, being on a foreign tour myself, I know how much extra stuff goes into that, not just the practice, but also the fun things that the team gets to do. What are some of those things off the court that y'all got to experience?
Well, just seeing Santo Domingo as a whole in the Dominican, and then just the kids got to spend time on the beach and just kind of relax and just enjoy, sightsee, and do all the things that a typical tourist would do, but the way a college girl would want to do it, of just kind of being able to have fun and be around their friends.
You've done an amazing job growing this program over the past few years. Coming into this season, what are your goals and how is your team going to make that jump to the next step?
I think we took a step backwards last year. A lot of different reasons we got there, but it's getting us back to our roots of what we did 3 to 4 years ago, and kind of rebuilding our culture and rebuilding the work ethic we have to put in. And through the Dominican trip, through the spring, and to where we are now, I think we've got a giant step in the right direction, and really looking forward to our future.
And Coach, you blended some veterans coming back, some experience, but also new transfers, and that's the landscape of college volleyball as we look at it almost every single year. So what are the challenges that have presented that to you and your roster, and what are you seeing with the chemistry of this team?
I think the benefit for us is all the transfers came in at semester, so we've had them here since January, and then just all but 2 high school kids came in over the summer. So I think the culture has kind of been built with what we need to do, and then the key pieces of getting Kellen Morin back from injury. It's kind of just, we have a new team, but there's a lot of some veterans kind of hanging out with it, and the transfer kind of have stepped themselves into our culture and our kind of demands, and it's kind of flowing pretty well right now.
Coach, you touched on having Kellen Morin back in the gym after injury. What has that really meant for you to have her back, and what excites you most about her return?
Everything excites me about her return. It's hard to run a good offense and play a good defense without a quality middle, and losing Kellen, we thought we could Band-Aid it and kind of smoke and mirror it through the season, and it didn't work. We got exposed at sometimes, and having the rock and the player that she is coming back, and I think she's on a vengeance right now. She's doing really well since she got released, and then every day she gains more confidence, and every day she gains just that swagger back, and it's going to be fun to watch her play for real.
Well, and speaking of that offense, you've got a couple decisions to make specifically in the setter's role. Can you talk a little about all your players that are in the gym in that position and kind of what they bring to the floor and how you might be looking to evaluate who you want running that show?
Yeah, we've got 2 freshmen and they're both All-Americans in different worlds. So they've had some stability. Tennyson Fry graduated early and came in at semester and was training with us all spring, and she's done a really good job. Olivia Clemens came in after the high school season was over. High school time was over, came in and joined us in the summer. But then we got a transfer, and Lottie Scully came in from Binghamton. She was American East Setter of the Year, and so I like our core. I like what we're doing with that, and everybody's different. Tennyson has great size, great athleticism. Lottie can run the show, and then Olivia is just this little spark plug that can just kind of get you back if you need to kind of quick rally points and just kind of mess things up. She's the kid that's going to run it around for you.
Coach, we talked a little bit about that setter position, but let's talk about libero. Losing All-American Kate, what have you seen within the changes and then the newcomers coming into the gym just trying to take over that libero position?
Yeah, well, we returned Alana Torres Rivera in the spot, and she's got season. She's a senior, and she has that kind of steadiness to her. And then we bring in another touted high school kid, and Jillian Pitts, and she's doing a really good job. She's solid. Like, playing at the level that she played at throughout the club and in the Dallas and the TAV kind of life. And she's been through those fights and she's ready to take the job too. So it's a fun fight in our gym. So we've got a lot of competition going on in our gym. It's kind of fun to be involved right now.
That's for sure exciting. And as you mentioned last year, not quite the season that you wanted, but you are trending in the right direction overall. What excites you the most about your program and particularly this group that you have this season?
That we're willing to work. We're willing to put the time in, and we're supporting each other and just doing the right things where there's zero like step back of what we're asking them to do. There's zero fight or kind of hesitation. Everybody's bought in to do the right thing, and no matter what I pull up, they'll just do it because they think it's the right thing and they trust me.
Well, and what were your goals as you look to schedule your preseason matches? Obviously, you wanted to learn about your team and gain some momentum going into a tough conference season. So is there anything you're excited about or looking forward to in that conference and preseason, those matches?
Yeah, we've kind of, if you can look at the schedule, it goes in where it's not all hard, and then it gets really hard, and then it kind of takes its foot off the gas and then it gets hard again. But it's something where we've got to learn how to win. And I think that's something that you've got to get used to and gain confidence from. And then, seeing Kentucky and Purdue in a weekend, that's another one to get ready for. Seeing LSU in our building. I think there's going to be something where we've got to learn how to win and then trust what's going on when times go bad.
Coach, and with different polls coming out, we've seen how fierce the Big 12 is from the top to the bottom. What does Houston need to do this year to stay in the mix?
Just be us. I think if we go back to, we usually defend the heck out of it, and then we run a really quick offense now. We're bringing it back again and trying to get that tempo back up and just be solid with those, and then just trust our attackers and trust our passers and watch good things happen.
Well, head coach David Rehr with us here today on Big 12 Volleyball Media Days. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of insight, a lot of input on your team. We are excited to see what the Houston Cougars can do out on the court this season.
No, thanks for this.
All right, ladies, Houston picked 11th in the preseason. We're going to get to Kellen Morin here in just a second, but what's your take on the incoming transfers as well as the freshmen he's got and what this team's really going to look like as the season plays out?
Well, I love what you said, what's this scheme going to look like? Because all of these coaches, they're wondering the same thing. You're putting together a team in the preseason. You play it out in those preseason matches and try to work out the kinks and then enter the gauntlet that is conference season. And hopefully by the end, you get what you're hoping for. Houston always puts together a good team and a good program, and they're always challenging in those tough roles.
So let's get to Kellen Morin joining us right now, a redshirt senior middle blocker for Houston in 2023. She set the Cougars' single-season hitting percentage record, led the team in blocks, but then missed all of last season due to an injury, and now she's back. She's hopefully healthy as can be and ready to anchor Houston's front line. Kellen, first off, how does it feel to be back on the court after missing last season, and what has your rehab journey been like?
Yeah, I think if I could pick one word to describe how I'm feeling right now, it is a whole lot of gratitude. I'm very thankful for my training staff that has gotten me through this past year and a half of rehab. I'm thankful for my coaching staff and their patience with me, working back with me through my injury and what volleyball looks like for me post ACL surgery. I'm thankful for my family and for God, and I'm really excited to see what this season has in store for our team.
Kellen, I saw your post here. 216 dry needles, 2 PRP injections, 28 redshirted games, and over 6,300 TKEs. What was the mental toll and the physical toll that you had during this recovery?
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of blood, sweat, and a lot of tears over the past year and a half, and I think that has just given me a large chip on my shoulder. I've got some, this is a revenge tour. I'm really excited to put forth a great season of volleyball for everyone and for my coaching staff that has really helped me throughout this whole process. So I'm excited. It wasn't easy, but I'm all the better for it.
Well, you talk about that shift in perspective. How has your viewpoint changed on the entire game of volleyball and just the opportunity to be a college athlete?
Mm-hmm. I've definitely learned a lot about the game. Watching volleyball for last year was, not something I wanted to do, but I'm very thankful I did. I have a new perspective on the game. I've come into the gym every day with the attitude that I get to do this. I do, especially after having it taken away. I get to come in the gym. I get to work for each rep. I get to play volleyball every day. I get to lift weights because last year at this time, I was not able to play volleyball. And so I'm so thankful to be back.
It's great to have that new perspective, right? When you're forced to sit out and then how grateful you are and blessed. I want to ask you a little bit about this team. What's some of the pregame rituals? Maybe you have some superstitions from the coaches to the players on the team.
Yeah. We are serious when it comes to game time, but boy, does this team love to have fun. You know, we're dancing. We love to do TikToks. I think as far as pregame rituals, it's a lot of just, you know, when the time comes, we're ready to go. So I think this team knows how to have fun, though.
Talking about fun, just how was the experience of going to the Dominican Republic with your teammates from just skill-wise and then also the stuff that y'all got to do off the court?
Yeah, I'm so grateful we got to go do that. I think the Dominican was a great experience for us. We got to play some high-level volleyball, and we got to get better at the trip. We also got to see a lot of cool things. I have never been out of the country personally, so it was super cool to see and explore a different culture. And just everyone in the Dominican was so nice to us. We had a joke that we were the chicas grandes because everyone just thought we were humongous girls walking around downtown Santo Domingo. So it was a really cool experience.
Well, and that's so fun to spend that time with teammates outside of the court and build that culture. As you look ahead to this season coming up, you know, you've talked about goals. I love that you said revenge tour. Like, what is the focus and what is this team, their mindset going into this tough preseason and conference season?
Yeah, so I think practices right now have been super competitive. I think this is the deepest our roster has been in my 4 years at UH. If you would ask me for a starting lineup today, it wouldn't be the same what I would tell you it was yesterday. Our team is so deep, and that makes our gym so much better because everyone is just battling for a starting spot. I think our gym is just so competitive, and we are so excited to display what we've been working on for the past 6 months, past year in our preseason going into conference.
Tell us more about your head coach and what it's like to play for head coach David Rehr on and off the court. Are we seeing what we get on the court as well as off the court with him?
For sure. I love Dave. Dave is like my second father. I think he was there for me through a lot of my rehab. You know, I've even come into his office and had boy troubles, knee troubles, everything. I think what you see is what you get with Coach Dave, and I appreciate him more than he knows. So I love Coach Dave.
And you've seen this program evolve over the years. What's different about this team compared to previous seasons?
I think the biggest thing that stands out to me for this team is just, I know I already touched on it, but how deep our roster is. I think the years that we went to the Sweet 16 in the second round, it was a clear cut of who was going to be our starting outsides, who were our starting middles, who was our starting right side game. It changes every day in our gym. Everyone is battling for a spot, and it just makes everyone better. So I think we are very deep, and I think we have a very talented roster.
This conference season is going to have a lot of fun matches. Are there any that you're particularly looking forward to? Any places that you especially love to go to battle in?
I am so focused on August 28th that I have not even thought about conference play. I'm ready to battle out this preseason and think about conference play when it arrives.
Well, Kellen, we are excited. You are healthy. We look forward to seeing you back out on the court with your team, and I'm sure you're going to make a huge impact. Best of luck this season.
Thank you, ladies, for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, Alex, having talked to Kellen, what a fantastic personality, and you can see the leadership that shines through when she was talking to us. How important is that going to be for this Houston team going into the season?
It's going to be so important. I mean, she has a different perspective being on the sidelines all of last season, but she also has a different type of momentum, a different type of fire underneath her that she wants to go out there and win this thing. So her being the leader at the top of this, one of the more experienced ones, is going to be everything for this team, especially when they have those transfers and those newcomers coming in.
Maybe not quite the season that Coach Rehr said last year, right? This is something that he's building towards having filled in some of those key pieces. So as you look at the roster, and we talked about returners and key pieces, where do you think this team realistically can finish?
Well, I think you never want to get into what can be, because everything's up in the air. And so I love the focus with, hey, next match, next play, next point. That's really where the focus is. And then you keep doing that and loading those. And then by the end of the season, you've done amazing things. And so I love the focus of this team and how they're looking to just really get after it and really upset some people. It's going to be fun to watch.